What's up, guys? So a bit over a year ago, I dropped this video, and in this video, I had some allegations against I Don't Pull Out, who is the leader of TSL. And if you don't know, TSL is one of the biggest groups in Bedrock Anarchy. And at that time, it was just testimony. There was no solid evidence. But now new stuff has come out, and it's rough. So Pullout posted this edit someone made of me, and there is very obviously a hardly blurred pornographic image on the left. I drew over it just so I don't know, like we don't want to see that shit. And the title says watching CP reaction, so it is automatically insinuated this is CP. So when I go and I start pushing people on this, it comes out that the actual pornographic image was actually CP. So Pullout did not make the image. It was actually this guy named Steve here. And Steve then turned around and admitted that he had a total of 34 pieces of child porn. Now, Steve is a minor, but that doesn't change the fact that having any type of child porn is still illegal. And he was promptly banned, but not until after I said anything to anyone. If I hadn't said anything, none of this would have been exposed. This kind of behavior would have continued to happen in TSL. And even though he was banned, even though Pullout's admins, who are also minors, had to deal with this, Pullout himself, instead of originally, when the guy sent him the meme, instead of seeing the blurred porn and being like, hey dude, you're a minor, it is not okay for you to do that shit. TSL does not find that appropriate. We are not cool with that. He instead reposted it in a public Discord and co-signed it. And then after it was found out it was CP, he said that shit was funny. He thought it was funny that a kid was sharing around CP basically. And then on top of all of that, when I pushed him on this, he doubled down and made excuses. He had every chance to take accountability. He could have told the kid it was wrong, but no, he still was like, he just supported that kid looking at porn. Like, even if he didn't know it was CP, you can still see it was porn. You can still see it was blurred and that the kid obviously had to have seen the porn to blur it. You don't I don't have to explain that to you. And then when we gave him multiple chances to take accountability and be like, "Oh yeah, I fucked up here. That's my bad, guys." He continued to double down and make excuses for this behavior. And I don't know if this is ego or incompetence or just he generally doesn't see the wrong in his ways, but this shit is fucked, bro. And the fact that Pullout as an adult couldn't take the accountability and responsibility to handle the situation accordingly, that his his admins who are minors, had to step up and do his job for him and ban the guy. You can give Pullout the excuse that he didn't know it was CP. You can give him that, and that's fair, but he could still see that it was porn and that a minor in his server was making edits for him out of porn. In no way is that okay. Like, I shouldn't have to explain to y'all, but I guess this is what the community has come to, that it is not okay for kids to be looking at porn. And if I hadn't said anything, this shit would have probably continued to happen because nobody in TSL was acting on it until I called them out. And it really makes me wonder what else Pullout has been letting slide. TSL seems like it's becoming a hub for this degeneracy around minors. And I'm saying this because this Pullout is not the first person this has happened with. You guys remember, over a year ago now, I made a video on Brendo the Psycho. Brendo the Psycho, I don't think I mentioned this, but he was a predominant member in TSL. He was a big part of it. And until Brendo took the accountability and left the community, TSL was still harboring him after everything had dropped. Another situation back in the day with Potato and Entity Reaper, they were exposed for sharing and sending CP around, and they were booted out, but that was way after the damage had been done, and it was only after they were exposed. That shit would have continued to happen if they were not exposed. And then on top of all of that, the original creator of TSL was a furry degenerate. I don't have any evidence on this guy, but I've heard lots of stories of what this guy gets up to. And it's not pretty, and it should not be around minors. So I don't know how TSL basically became a hub for all the minors to hang out around. That shit is weird. I wanted to kind of put out like this track record to show that like this is a continuous thing that keeps happening in TSL. Minors keep getting affected by members here, and I really am concerned for what like goes on behind the scenes there and what we don't know, because this shit only comes out when other people expose them, and then they do damage control, and that's when they act on the problems. But until they have to save face and make themselves look good, they don't act on any of this shit. And honestly, I think this is an overall reflection of the entire Bedrock Anarchy community, because for some reason, back in the day, it was no rules, so everyone's edgy. But now it's no rules, so everyone's got to be degenerate and push the line and see how close we can get to getting away with shit, and how close we can be to, oh, I'm a pedo, oh, maybe not, oh, like it's insane to me. And I get that a lot of you guys in this community are young and naive, and you don't quite get how serious this is. And that's part of the problem. A lot of you guys are really young. I mean, this community is full of minors, all right? It's not, I'm pretty sure it's more minors than adults. And the fact that the like adults that are around here don't step up and like say like, hey, we shouldn't be sending porn in chat. Yeah, everyone's minors here. That shit is weird. That shit is not cool. It just continues to happen. And I thought you guys would have learned in the Brendo situation. I thought like we would have been able to sit down and draw the line at what is cool and what isn't. But it seems like shit has only gotten worse since then. Like, I don't know what it is, but you guys need to understand that this shit has long-lasting effects. Our like kids are the future of civilization. Like, you need to wrap your head around that. We need to protect kids physically and mentally. Like, this shit has long-lasting effects, bro. It's so fucked. And most of the time, yeah, we kick out the pedos, we deal with it, but we aren't dealing with the root of the problem. Like, we are just allowing this degenerate shit to happen, and then we only deal with it when it gets really, really bad. We need to nip this shit in the butt and draw a line that there is so many kids in this community, and sharing porn around them is not okay at all, or discussing porn, or discussing any sexual, inappropriate, graphic, any of that shit. It is not okay. And I'm so fucking tired of this shit happening. It feels like it keeps happening and no one is learning anything. I really could rant about this for like hours straight, but I don't have the time, and you guys obviously don't have the time. So if you agree with me, if you think, yeah, let's get rid of these fucking creeps, let's draw a line at what is okay and what isn't in this community. I get it's no rules, but we have to have morals. Like, this shit is just so fucked, and it keeps happening, and no one's, I don't know. I tried to do shit about it. Hardly anyone took the Brendo shit serious, and now we're in this situation where like leaders of giant fucking groups are doing this shit. And I call this shit out, and he still had people defending it. Like, I don't get it. But I don't know. It's just me, I guess. But if you agree with me, we have to make our voices heard. Because I can't do this alone. I can't just make this video and hope it goes somewhere. Because I tried that with the Brendo stuff, and hardly anyone important listened. But, like, this shit is genuinely serious. I don't know how to convey to y'all how serious this shit is. I've been yapping for nearly 10 minutes. And goddammit, I will yap a whole Bible's worth if I have to convince y'all how This shit is not okay. We keep letting shit like this slide. We have Sack the Baggins out there and shit. Like, bro, we have to put our foot down somewhere. And it's got to be at protecting kids at the very least. I think that's everything. I'm sorry if I got too heated there. I just genuinely care about this, and I'm tired of seeing this degeneracy in a community that I used to enjoy coming around. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching.